Hello, I'm David the Collector, and I have a bit of a different video for you today. You know I like art a lot, so today I'm going to talk about why. So we'll start with a bit of a story. When I was growing up, I was called Lucky. My mom gave it the nickname. It was something that I sort of took to heart and definitely thought about a lot. It meant I was checking everywhere for spare change, including every coin slot that you could possibly find. That meant I discovered tricks. Like if you found a machine that had a jammed coin slot, you could normally get it unjammed, and a lot of the coins would get returned to you. So I sort of fell in love with the idea of puzzles through this behavior. Trying to get lucky by looking at different machines and seeing how I could almost hack them and figure them out to provide the most value for me. Just because that was my only access as like a 5 or 6 year old. That continued to develop into a love of music. It might not seem like it connects, but it kind of does in my head. Just sort of following new trends and sort of understanding moments of culture when you're very young comes through music very easily. I went to Lollapalooza in Chicago, where I'm from, and also Pitchfork Music Festival, which I sort of related to a little bit more. I've always sort of been very interested in subculture and sort of where do the acts come from before they get to Lollapalooza. A lot of times it is the Pitchfork Music Festival and sort of the other festivals that happened around Chicago that you could be a part of before they broke out big. So seeing that movement and being able to sort of predict which bands would get really big was always really cool. And I sort of remember applying that same sort of knowledge to tech. My background is technology. I dropped out of college to join a tech company, and that's sort of what provided me the ability to become an investor and invest in art and all the things that you see in front of you. And I sort of didn't understand art immediately when I got into tech. I wasn't collecting art at first. I had no money at all, so it was pretty hard to. But as I sort of started working in tech and understanding where culture was coming from, you started to pay attention to artists like Murakami and other sort of famous artists of note, KAWS, and some of the ones you would notice at first if you were just getting into sort of the art scene. So that was really cool, sort of seeing those movements, how they merchandise and market themselves. I sort of fell in love with the fact that it felt like an early sneak peek on what would be culturally relevant within a few years. So art basically predicts this entire other market of tech, music, and everything else that happens. So it sort of made a lot of sense to me to make that the thing that I go after. The more I learn about art, the more I realize that it has authorship and basically is a mechanism for speech in a way that nothing else really is. Maybe comedy and a few other things can do the same. But the fact that culture is sort of a story, art sort of tells a narrative of someone's life, and they're able to use that narrative to depict whatever they want and sort of reframe cultural momentum around different aspects of what's going on in society, instead of sort of letting it being written by the people who have always marketed to us and sold us objects. I love making products. That's like something I did at the tech company and I continue to do. I don't only collect. This stem is something I've made. I've given it away as gifts. I've never sort of sold it. Maybe you'd consider it an art piece. Maybe it's more like a frame and the pin is an art piece. But I have them decorated all around my place. I've always sort of loved them sort of staring at me, smiling, and in full flower form. And I even have sort of a product I'm working on that combines tech and art that I'll show you a sneak peek of. It's sort of a price alert app. This is what it would look like for a KAWS toy. If you scroll down, you can see the last sale, the change. I'm not sure this is focusing, hopefully it is. the sort of graph of price change. And this is data pulled from places like StockX, eBay, and other auction sites. So very, very excited about people's ability to track their art as assets over time, using sort of a group data analysis where everyone sort of contributes and logs sales and helps skim to make sure everything looks good. So very, very excited for that. Stay tuned. Leave a comment if you'd use it, and I'll create a sign up list or something at some point if it seems like there's a lot of interest. My next goal is to have a beta. The version that I'm using now kind of only works for me, and I need sort of help making all the items relational. So when I accept price mentions, it happens for everyone and not just myself. So you guys don't have to do sort of all the price analysis for every item. Some of this stuff will already be in there for you. So yeah, very excited about that app. I'm excited about this channel. The idea of exploring art as a medium of content is something that I'm going to continue to do. I want to get a streaming computer and be able to stream myself looking at auctions, trying to buy art drops and other sort of things that I collect and make decisions about. I'd also love to do a box break for y'all where I buy an inexpensive set of Pokemon cards, charge a little bit cheaper than a pack would normally cost, and then come up with a fun way to basically make it back on the back end a little bit with everyone's sort of consent involved. So we can talk through some of my box break ideas. And yeah, just really excited for the channel. I'll be opening more Pokemon cards and more art objects soon, but wanted to sort of explain why I'm here and what I'm doing. This will be the top video on my YouTube page that you can watch. So I introduce myself so you know what's going on. So yeah, check out my other videos. I open a lot of Pokemon cards. The best ones that I've opened have Charizard in the title. And have opened a lot of art objects too. So you can just search your favorite artist or scroll and see what you like. Please like and subscribe if this is interesting to you. Thank you for being a part of the journey. I appreciate you being here. Have a good one.